I'm a student at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University who is pursuing a bachelor's degree in aeronautical science. My tour will provide information on the hydrology of streams and the function of Elmidae, most commonly referred to as the Riffle beetle. Brendan's image of the strong current reflects the environment riffle beetles and other organisms live in. This tour was created for the Macro Project, which focuses on macrosystem ecology as it relates to river basins in major temperate steppe regions of the world. According to Charles Cosner's diagram of the water cycle, it is the cycle of processes by which water circulates between the Earth's oceans, atmosphere, and land, involving precipitation as rain and snow, drainage in streams and rivers, and return to the atmosphere by evaporation and precipitation. The energy related to Bernoulli's principle is also important in shaping riffle beetles that live in the fast-flowing riffles of streams. Suppose a fluid is moving in a horizontal direction and encounters a pressure difference. This pressure difference will result in a net force. Because the shape of the larvae is smooth like a worm, there is so much less pressure on the larvae. Adult riffle beetles are small, 1 to 8 millimeters long, dark, elongate, hard-bodied beetles, with relatively long legs and tarsal claws. The ventral surface of the body adult riffle beetles is covered with an extremely dense layer of tiny hydrophobic hairs. This traps a layer of air, called a plastron, on the surface of the body, and the beetles use this for gas exchange. One diagnostic feature of the larvae are the filamentous gills that emerge from the tip of the abdomen. These can be retracted for protection, or rhythmically expanded and contracted to increase oxygen flow. A plate called an operculum covers the retracted gills and has a pair of well-developed claws attached to it. Elmidae are found on all continents except Antarctica. They are found crawling on stones and woody debris in the riffle zones of freshwater streams. Only a few have adapted to living in still waters, and larvae are strictly aquatic, but otherwise share the same habitats as adults. Riffle beetles are primary consumers in the food web. Can be referred to as prey, although they are not a significant source of food. They feed on producers such as living plant or dead material and organic debris. They are herbivores and are usually the targets of secondary consumers. Riffle beetles are similar to submarines in that their body shapes are similar. When the submarine surfaces, compressed air flows from the air flasks into the ballast tanks, and the water is forced out of the submarine until its overall density is less than the surrounding water, which is positive buoyancy, and the submarine rises. Many water beetles carry an air bubble, called the elytra cavity, underneath their abdomens, which provides an air supply and prevents water from getting into the spiracles. Some families of water beetles have fringed hind legs adapted for swimming. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation on riffle beetles. You've become familiar with what they look like, where they live, and what habitat they need to survive. They are important to us because they are useful in indicating the environmental quality of our streams. Make sure to check out the Macro Project on Facebook and Twitter. You can also find them at www.macrorivers.org. Thank you for watching.